of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
Okay, so today we're going to be trying to tackle the windmill cube, and this is a shapeshifter, as you can see. And so I was pretty intimidated by this one. I actually got this one and the Mega Minx at the same time, and I was so scared of this one that I actually learned the Mega Minx first, which I found out is a lot harder than this one. This one's actually not that bad. The only major difference when you're solving this one between this one and the regular 3x3 is going to be the middle layer. But all the rest of it's pretty much just like the 3x3. We're going to be using mostly the same algorithms. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started with this one. So just one more thing about this one before I start. The reason it's called a windmill cube is because you can do this with it and make it look like a windmill. And then you can also, some people like to also do that, and that gives it sort of the checkerboard pattern. So that is the windmill cube. So here it is mixed up, and you can see that's pretty scary. That looks extremely complicated, and that's why I was so intimidated by this thing when I saw one mixed up. But you're going to see it's not that bad. Now, the way that I learned to solve this thing, this is actually the only cube that I currently have that I solved the yellow side first, rather than the white. So I'm going to start with the yellow cross, very similar to the 3x3. And right now we're not going to pay attention to the orientation of the centerpiece. You can see that of course this one's orange and this one's red, but you can see how they're not lined up. We're going to fix that in the second step, so don't worry about orientation right now. So I'm just going to quickly solve the cross. It's kind of hard to figure out how to hold this thing to begin with. It takes a little bit of practice, and even me, I'm used to it, and it's still on this first step, it's still a little bit challenging to figure out how this thing turns. But here you can see that I've got the green, even though it's not oriented right, it's there, and I've got the blue. So let's see, here's the red, so I'm just going to do it like that, and here's the orange. Alright, so there you go. I've got the yellow cross, there's blue, red, green, orange. And now to fix the centerpieces where they're oriented right, it's really simple. I'm going to start with the orange right here. So all you do is you're going to turn it all the way to the bottom and then move it out of the way. And now just rotate that centerpiece so that when you move it back, they match up. And then you just turn it back up. Alright, same thing with the green. Turn it down, move it out of the way, rotate that centerpiece, and then bring it back. And then just put it back up. Alright, my blue one's already good, so last one be the red. move it down, move it out of the way, move that over, bring it back, bring it up. Alright, so there you go. Yellow cross is complete and the centers have been oriented. Alright, next step is going to be to finish out the yellow face. So just like on the 3x3, you're just going to get your corner piece below where it needs to be, and we're just going to use that same old familiar algorithm. Alright, so here's the green one down below where it needs to go, and we're just going to do R prime, D prime, R, D. Of course, I didn't need to do that D, but for beginners that's just a good way to remember it, but there it is. Alright, so here's my red, so I'm going to get it below where it needs to go, and same thing, R prime, D prime, R, D, and just keep doing that until it gets there. There you go. I don't need to do that last D move. Alright, there's my blue, so I'm going to bring it over. There it is right there. Now there is a little shortcut for this one since the yellow's facing that way. I'm just going to do D prime, R prime, D, R. So unless you're just beginning, you've probably already figured that out, but again, if you're a beginner, the best way to do it is just R prime, D prime, R, D, and just keep doing that. Alright, so now you can see that the first layer is complete. Okay, so as I said before, the next step is really the one major difference between this cube and the regular 3x3. You can see that there's only one piece in the middle layer for each color of the cube, and this is one of them right here. So all you have to do is find the pieces that only have one color, and they're sort of long. You can kind of see they're longer than these middle pieces. Those are the pieces that go in the middle layer. So there's one, there's the green, there's the orange, and the blue. I believe I saw it. Yeah, it's already up here. It's in the wrong spot, but it's in the middle layer. Now there's two things you're going to have to look for, and by the way, hold it with the yellow side up like I have, and you're going to look for the middle layer pieces that are down in the bottom first, and you're going to see one of two things. You're either going to see no ledge, like we have both of these. There's no ledge. See how they're tucked up under these pieces. I don't have an example of a ledge at the moment, but I'll show you that in just a minute. So we'll go ahead and do one of these first. If you have a piece like this that has no ledge, and what I mean by a ledge is sometimes you'll have one of these pieces that sticks out, sort of like my finger is here, and you'll have a little ledge. But again, I'll show you that in a minute. So since these have no ledge, you want to put that piece under the same color middle layer piece. Alright, and then you're going to do excuse me, you're going to do this algorithm. It's going to be D prime, R prime, D prime, R, D. Alright, and then you're going to do a clockwise cube turn. So I'm going to turn it just like that, and then I'm going to do L, D, L prime, and you can see that it's now in the right spot. Alright, so let's look at another example of that. Here's my green. Okay, so again, there's no ledge because it's down, it's tucked away below the pieces. Okay, so I put it under the same color piece, and let's try that again. So we're going to do down prime, right prime, down prime again, right, and then down. Then you're just going to do one clockwise shift, clockwise cube turn, and then you're going to do left, down, left prime. And now we have our green up there. Alright, so there's two examples of how to do it with no ledge, and now this is what I was hoping for. I now have an example of one with a ledge. So if you look, you can see how it's sort of hanging over the piece there, so there's a little bitty ledge. Alright, now we're going to use a different algorithm for this, and it's a little different too, because instead of putting the blue under its blue piece, you have to start with the color to the right. So instead of it being under the blue, I'm going to have to put it under the red, because the red is to the right of the blue. Okay, so I hold it just like that. Okay, now to do the piece with the ledge, the algorithm is down, left, down, left prime, down prime. Now instead of doing a clockwise cube turn, we're going to do a counterclockwise cube turn. And then we're going to do right prime, down prime, right. And now there's your blue. Alright, so that should leave us just one more. That's going to be the red. Alright, and there's the red, and it's got a ledge. Okay, so we're going to do that same move again. So instead of putting it under the red piece, we're going to do it under the piece to the right, which in this case is the green. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so one more time. We're going to do down, left, down, left prime, down prime. And then a counterclockwise cube turn. And then right prime, down prime, right. Alright, so if we take a look, we should have the middle layer complete. Yep, looks good to me. Okay, next step, we are going to now turn the cube over, and we're going to hold it like this the whole rest of the time. Now, if you know how to solve the 3x3, you are good to go for the rest of the cube, because the rest of the cube is the same as the 3x3. We're going to use the same algorithm, same rules. The only difference is the shapes are different, but that's no big deal. So the next step is going to be to do the white cross, and so you can see that we have the L. Now I'm not going to go through all the different things in this video. You know, I went through all that when I was talking about solving the regular 3x3. So I'm assuming that if you're solving one of these, you already know how to do the 3x3, so I'm not going to go through all that. So I will go ahead and use that same beginner's algorithm though, just for simplicity purposes. So if you have the L, then you're going to hold it like this. And the algorithm is going to be front, right, up, right prime, up prime, front prime. And that's going to give you the horizontal line. And now you're going to do that one more time, which is front, right, up, right prime, up prime, front prime. And now we have the cross. So really the only other situation that you would have is if you just had the one white dot in the middle, which in that case you would just have to do that algorithm 3 times. Alright, so now I have the cross complete, and we're ready for the next step. So next we want to orient the edge pieces, and in this case the edge pieces are going to be these. They're the bigger ones that only have the white and the one other color, like that. Alright, so just looking real quick, I can see that the orange and the green are in the right spots. So the only ones that need to be swapped are the blue and the red. So I'm going to hold it like this. So basically, just like the 3x3, you have the ones to be swapped in the front and the left, like this. And the algorithm is going to be right, up, right prime, up, right, up twice, right prime, up. And there you go. So if we look at our edges, we can see that they are all done, and we're ready for the last step. Okay, so the last step is going to be to fix the corner pieces. Now, I say the last step, there's actually two steps. It's first of all getting them in the right spot, and then second will be to orient them, but you should already know that. So we're just going to take a look and see which one's in the right spot. In my case, it's going to be the orange. Okay, so you want to hold the one that's in the right spot to the sort of the front right, like I have. And the algorithm is going to rotate these three counterclockwise, just like on the 3x3. So that means that I'm going to have to do this algorithm twice in order to get them all in the right spot. Okay, so the algorithm is up, right, up prime, left prime, up, right prime, up prime, left. Okay, so the orange didn't move, and you can see that these were rotated, so I need to do it one more time to get them in the right spot. So again, up, right, up prime, left prime, up, right prime, up prime, left. Alright, so orange is right, blue is right, red is right, green is right. Okay, so the very last step now would be to just orient these guys. So just like the 3x3, you want to hold the piece to be oriented. I'm just going to start with the blue. You're going to hold it to the front right, and you're going to do your old familiar R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. Just keep doing that until it's right. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. Now remember, you do need to do that last down move on this layer. So now that that one's in the right spot, we're going to hold the cube like it is, but just rotate the next piece over to be oriented. And same thing, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, and just keep doing until it gets there. And there it is. Alright, last one, rotate it over and do it again. Remember, always do these moves in sets of 4. And last one, and there it is. And then you just take a look and fix your top layer. Alright, so there you go. Really scary cube, but once you know how to solve it, no big deal at all. You just have to learn the 2 new algorithms for the middle layer, and that is pretty much it. If you're already a person who's comfortable with the 3x3, this is a really fun addition to your collection. I really enjoy it. Once I learned to do it, it became one of my favorites. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.